Hello, it's Jay. It is a dark episode for August the 8th, 2022. Parasocial relationships, I think, is the topic that is running through my head at the moment, and which I might try and gather some information on and do a video. And I think I will do it because how it comes up is because of that long ass video I just made of me reacting to the bit of the kind of a tussle between people who felt on one side that monetization was perfectly natural, just a natural part of YouTube, something that everyone does, and yep, it is a commercial enterprise, and and it's kind of entertainment, and we're putting a lot of creators put a lot of work into their videos, and that some compensation is due, and especially since that YouTube kind of collects money in the form of ad revenue from these videos, whether you choose to monetize it or not. It's like, well, maybe not all that should go to YouTube. Some of that can come to the creators. And I mean, there's kind of a case to be made. It is a commercial operation. YouTube is not doing this out of the goodness of their own heart. And if we want YouTube to continue, it has to be a business model that actually works and they collect money on, so that we can continue to have YouTube. Because the second YouTube, or well, maybe not the second, but if over the long run YouTube is just a money sink, well then it's not going to be around, and something else will come in its place instead, which may be better, might be worse. But if you like the status quo, hey, maybe you don't like the status quo. Now on the other side are people who are very much with our corner of BookTube, that this is a social media site and that you have a friendship with your viewers. And since you have friendship with your viewers, it is ethically, morally wrong to force said viewers' friends to watch ads in exchange for being able to get to your video. Very much looking at it as a relationship that is not a audience member performer relationship, but is a, hi, I'm a regular person, you're a regular person, we're communicating, we're talking, we're chatting. It's a parasocial relationship. And well, I don't know, actually this would be the question, I guess, to someone like Steve. I don't think he views each and every one of his many subscribers as a friend group, though he seems to kind of view it in that terms when he's talking about it's absolutely wrong to be monetizing your channel because you're charging your friends. It's like, which is where I kind of come in, because I have this very awkward relationship with getting to know people online. I mean, I have an awkward relationship with getting to know people in person as well. My level of where a friend is pretty high, quite high, of who's a friend. And I have a feeling that someone like Steve, who is very much an extrovert, makes a lot more friends, and on multiple different levels, and probably as a result has a much richer life than I do. But I would make the distinction that, like, I don't think I'm a friend of Steve Donahue. I think I've watched many thousands of hours of his videos. Probably not a exaggeration at this point. Does that mean I'm friends with Steve Donahue? I did not sit across from him and converse with him as he chatted. I watched it as a viewer, and it gives me wonderful access to him and helps me get to know him in a certain way, on camera way. but it's sort of a one-sided relationship, and in some ways I'm kind of comfortable with that relationship. He's very much like, oh, you can email me, we can chat on Vox, or to everybody he says this. But I've never been like, well, I don't really know you, and I feel like it feels like I'm imposing on you, and it's also that you're asking me to develop a much more intimate relationship than I'm prepared for as a diffident, uptight um, son of Brits. It's not my thing. Um, and it just made me think about the whole thing of parasocial relationships and what kind of relationship do I actually have with people online in YouTube. And, you know, I've had interactions with Steve that haven't been strictly on his channel. One or two, vanishingly small, nothing that I would think he would remember of. I'm sure the many interactions he has with lots and lots of different people. Um, I've had more relationships with Brian, who is somebody who does monetize his channel, but I don't feel like Brian is a friend who's charging me. I have to watch ads to watch his channel. I feel like he's somebody who's producing something, who's put a lot of thought into something, is entertaining, has interesting things to say that I want to listen to. It's, I mean, I kind of, I know him through his videos, but that's all how I know him basically. And these are two parasocial relationships. And it's kind of that that kind of wibbly wobbly back and forth of, well, am I owed anything in this relationship? I I don't think so, as much as they're not owed that I'm going to automatically watch all their ads and give them lots of money, or that I'm going to watch all their videos. It's like none of that is incumbent on me. I can watch what videos of theirs I want to. If they do a whole bunch of videos that I'm not interested in, I just don't watch them. And I don't think that's going to give me any hard feelings. It's just you watch what you're interested in. I have a limited amount of time, and I'm going to use that time for, oh, I'm really interested in this topic, or, oh, good, they're doing something light, and I feel like something light today, then I'm going to watch that video. But maybe if they're going to do, oh, I'm completely full of this subject, or, oh, I'm just not interested in this particular author that they're talking about today, I won't click on the video. Or maybe I don't feel like do reviews, or I don't feel like book hauls, or something like that. Nothing is owed. In that sense, it gets to be more of an audience member and a creator. And yet they're small enough that I can have interactions with them, like in the comment section. I'm probably more Brian than with Steve. Steve's got a lot of comments on his things, and I only very rarely put a comment on. And a lot of times there's nothing that's worth answering back. Brian probably has a little bit smaller of an audience, and definitely he'll say hi. He's the master of just like, hey, good, nice little touch in, which is probably why he has been successful on BookTube, is that he actually really interacts with people in a way that I find is beyond me, because I'm not good at interacting. But let's set aside my own failings as a booktuber. But yeah, there's this whole thing of parasocial relationships, which might be an interesting topic for just a video, and parasocial relationships on BookTube. And I mean, there's definitely a thing of, you feel it in the smaller community of resentment for larger booktubers who get to the point where they can't really have that kind of parasocial relationship anymore. It's like they have 5 million subscribers. They have thousands upon thousands of people in their comments field. It's like, it's impossible. It's gone from, hi, we're a group of friends all kind of gathered around, 5 or 6 or 10 of us. It's like, that's manageable. But when there's 500 of them, 500 people, um, then it's like, as the person who's at the head of the thing, it's like, well, I can answer one, or I can answer 20 or 30 in a thing, but then there's all these other people I'm going to leave out. How do you deal with that? You know, um, we give, there's a lot of, I think a lot of times maybe from someone like Steve, that there's a lot of kind of like, oh, they don't care about you, they think you're vermin, which is like, there may be some of that. That seems like it's also the least charitable reading you can put on stuff like that. Um, from someone who has difficulty just dealing with 5 comments on a video, to the point where I turned off my comments section, um, I'm more liable to say it's overwhelming at 500 comments on a single video. It's like that would consume your life, and yeah, yeah. So that's there's a shift in the parasocial relationship, and some people find that are quite resentful against people with like that, which is interesting. It'd be an interesting thing for a video, is what I'm thinking of. And I don't even have to probably, it's one of these things I can just do in a more general sense, which would be kind of cool. All right, I'm going to leave it there. More videos later.